All right, everybody, let's start a new one. I haven't been on in a couple days, but I did something and I'm going to release it. I think it's great. It's going to shock some people, but basically what this is, it's a wildlife reset. No long lenses, 90 days. And you heard it right. I'm not going to use a long lens for 90 days. And I'm going to photograph wildlife just like I do on my Instagram page, just like I do every day. And you're not going to know the difference. And I'm going to tell you how I'm going to do it. I'm going to tell you why I'm doing it. And I'm going to tell you how it's affected me so far because I've already started it. This isn't just a plan. And I'm not just like making a challenge here. This is my personal challenge. This is a deep-rooted one that I'm doing. And so far, it's been great. So what I'm doing is essentially taking my GFX 102 and I'm going to shoot it with no motor or battery grip, I guess you would call it. And this is my 200 millimeter right here. This is actually a 100 to 200 millimeter GF 100. You see how small this is? Very tiny, very portable, super light. Not light, but super light to me because that's what I'm used to using, this monster camera. So, but that's it. That's it right here. I have a 100, I have a macro, a lens that's small, I have an 80 millimeter, and I have a 23. It's all in my kit, and I'm gonna show you a picture of my kit that I'm using for this little 90-day kind of stepping away from my normal, wildlife photography style. And I'm gonna show you a little in-depth right here, right off the bat, what I keep in my kit. And this is an overhead shot here of my bag. And then here, you'll see it, everything laid out. So this is my normal, this is what's in my bag. It's in a think tank bag. And it's like my favorite setup. And this is what I take with me every day. Normally I have the 500 millimeter in there. But so here we go. So I didn't plan it as a project. I planned it as a self-reflection thing. So for, I've been trying to do something different where I feel like I'm missing out a lot on when I'm actually making photographs because I'm focused on getting in tight and getting in close. And I'll tell you right now, it's a little bit of a challenge when I moved from the 600 f4 to the 500. And let me tell you why, because on the medium format sensor in the GFX, if you're not already aware, you lose focal distance, relatively speaking. Because so this 200 millimeter is actually 160. So it's like a 70 to 160, I guess is what it is. It's close to that. It's very close to that, but you lose distance. My 500 is a 400. So, I'm not using a converter. I'm not going over 200 millimeters. I don't even have something that's 200 millimeters. So it's my 200 millimeter, which is actually a 160. So, no super telephotos. And I have found out, so like, I started out the first day, I was a little hesitant. I left it at home because I know if I took it and something popped up, I may be tempted to put it on, although I'm very good, as I said before, about keeping to my word. I went by my eagle's nest. Here's a photo of the nest. This is my perspective of the nest. So these are only cropped for YouTube. So the 16:9, I guess, crop is a little bit longer. The photos are a little higher, but that's it. So you can see she's in the nest. And then here's a close-up, and you can notice that it's sharp as a tack, and I'm happy with that. Would I have been a little bit closer with it? Yes, I probably would have been 2 times closer, but the end result at 100 megapixels is great. And everyone that's out there today has got a 50, a 40, a 60 megapixel camera. You can still do this crop. GFX gives me a little bit more with the 100 megapixel file that I can crop, and that's why I'm able to do it. If I had the Sony A1, I would have probably still done it. I could still pull it off. It's 50 megapixels. It's fine. It's not anything that's going to you're not going to notice that much of a difference. You might have to blow the photo up 100, inches wide, but it is what it is. So it isn't about being minimal. It's about me being intentional. So what I noticed when I was at the nest, and here's a couple pictures of the male flying away. These shots are great. He came a little closer to me here. So these shots are still tack sharp. They're still tack sharp. And the beauty of it is I had room. I had air. Normally when I'm in right on tight, he flies. I got to make the adjustment and try to track him over, which I can do. But with the 200, you got a wider, you've got so much more room for him to fly. I'm not so stressed out of having to move or get back. I'm already there. And with the zoom, I can barrel out. It's great. So shooting a zoom, I don't have any. This is my only zoom that I have. So I'm not. I used to shoot zoom way back, and you know I don't remember. And now this zoom is really nice. So I have to say. So after that, I cruised down and I went by a little Junco in the leaves after the snow. Took a couple snaps of that, pretty close out of the car window, out of my little car blind that I normally use, and then. You know, I went to the graveyard, and here you'll see my progression of the day. This is all in one day. So got this mockingbird far. I mean, not far, but I mean, you know, it's still sharp. It's a great shot. I could crop way in on this. I came up and, you know, I started to do a little circle around the graveyard. I didn't see much. And then boom, I had the bald eagle that you see flying. Now he's at the graveyard, which is very close to my location. And look how sharp these photos are. These were out my sunroof in the car. And I pulled up. I shot these vertical. And I mean, yeah, I mean, you'll see one here that's cropped and one that's not. I mean, it's a great shot. So I couldn't believe it. You know, I mean, I would have been too close when I drove up and under the tree where he was at with the 500. And, you know, so I'm happy. I'm happy. So far I was happy that day. I was thrilled and I felt good about it. I'm journaling too. So as I always say, you know, I'm a big journaler. I started a journal, same thing, just like I was shooting film. I track every time I have an image that I like, I jot it down. What I did, what my settings were, you know, the frames that I took, and you know, I'm going to show you some photos of that also. So you can see right here, this is what my journal looked like for this first day. Okay, now I didn't put any photographs in this journal. I just was writing and recollecting why I liked the lens, what lens I was using, where I was, and then the shots that I took with it. So that's pretty much my journaling process for this. I have a whole separate one for this. So I strongly recommend this because if it's a 90-day test, you might end up using it all the time. But this is a lesson that you don't need a $13,000 lens. You don't need a $5,000 lens. You don't need, you know, you can get a lens, a 70 to 200 and still shoot wildlife. Is it harder? Yes. Do you need to get closer? Yes. Do you have to be more tactful, not to intrude on the bird or disturb the bird or try to impede on him? You might have to go a lot slower. You might have to find better locations. And I have good locations, so I can pull this off because I know I can get relatively close. So, you know, that's where I'm at. I stopped asking myself how close I can get, and I just said, how much space in the moment do I need? I can back up, I can look, I'm observing, and I noticed that I'm observing way more. All right, so now I start doing a loop around the graveyard, and then boom, my two friends are there, the red-tailed hawk family, and I see him in the tree sitting staring at me. I get out of the car. I don't need the blind because he's not going to fly away. I get into position behind the sun. That's the light I wanted. And then I saw out of my left of my eye in the same tree, the female was feeding on a squirrel. So I'm gonna put up a couple photos right now. This is my first interaction with them. Kind of a cool butt shot. I thought it was kind of a neat angle. And then when he came flying through the trees, I loved how I still tracked her behind the branches. Now, this would not have happened with the 500. So this is a perfect example. This one is cropped in, but you can see the detail I held behind that large branch because I was zoomed out. And I think that I was shooting at 7.1 instead of 5.6 because I had the light, everything worked out. So this is what I was saying. I would have been at 500, 5.6. I would have been smack dab on them. And, you know, and then, so here is a really cool shot. I held him in focus really well. She's a little out of focus. They were tussled in the tree. Great. Once again, I was at like 100 millimeters. I was backed out when I shot this. So I was only 30, 40 feet from the limb. I was very close. But what a cool shot that I obtained from here. So like, you know, so it surprised me right away. And I realized that I was watching the two hawks interact and do what they do. They flew to another tree where they normally eat. And I followed them over there. I left my car there. I walked around the other side and I came up on them like I normally do. It was still deep snow here in New Jersey. And, you know, I sat and it was almost like I was looking through my binoculars. I wasn't so hyper focused on the one bird itself, and I could watch what was going on around. I had my composition. I saw some new compositions. I would move differently than I would normally. I did a lot of things different that really shocked me and that really surprised me, and I was excited about it. So I couldn't wait to get back and journal it. That's how excited I was about it. And I knew the images were tack sharp. I really didn't even use this 100 to 200 that much. It was kind of like a walk around lens. I did a little street photography with it. Not much else. Like I did some sports with it for a friend. I did a portrait with it. I mean, it was kind of a lens that kind of just sat and collected dust. And I feel like this is a great test for people to use those other lenses. Because I know me, I buy the 600, I buy the 400, and then I buy a 7200, I buy a 135, I buy other lenses because I feel like I need them. And then I end up never using them. They're like literally collecting dust in my bag with the Sony. I had all these other lenses and never used them, you know, occasionally here and there. But like, I just noticed when they were jumping from tree to tree, which they were doing, and when he took off with the squirrel and went to this little nook in the tree, look at these shots here, like staring right at me. These are tall. I wish they were wider for you, but I was close and he landed. And then I got this one. This is right after he flew away with it. She was cleaning her beak in the moss. I mean, I tried to zoom way in on this and show you, but I showed you a far out and a close one. So I showed them to you both ways. And that's important because, you know, like when she was flying and messing around in this branch, which I'm going to show you soon, I was far enough back where whatever she was doing, she was climbing up the branch. I had full range and I was shooting at 7.1. So I had a branch wouldn't throw me out of focus. If I happened to track something a little bit in front of her, she was still good. Now you can see here, further away, close up. And then once again, further away and close up. And so these, I'm going to leave these on screen for a little bit, these last two. But, you know, like that is something that I don't know. I just feel like I wouldn't have got this whole experience I wouldn't have had with the 500. That's all I'm saying. You know, so immediately I had more time to react to the flight and the movement. And I was watching like through my binoculars or a spotting scope, not so close. So, you know, I just felt like I had more control of the situation. And my arm wasn't tired. I wasn't holding the heavy lens. I definitely didn't need a tripod. I could carry it on regular camera strap. I mean, I have a solo harness, the hold fast. I can carry this on no problem. I don't have to worry about the weight. You know, it's just like, I don't know. I just feel like it's so liberating not to have to haul around the glass. And my 500 is not big. I mean, you know, it's not like my 500 millimeter GF is a huge lens. But, you know, it's just like, I'm not freezing the moments anymore. I'm not trying to be so tight. And then when the bird lifts off, I got his face, which I love. You know my style. It's up close and personal, but I'm a little further off and I like it. I like it. I feel like it gives me a little more breathing room in the photo. I don't have to, I can crop if I need to for Instagram or social media, but I can print and I can see what I'm getting. My whole landscape in my shot, I got it. So, you know, and the shift to being truly handheld is amazing. I did a little video because I was out there and for the channel, I did a little video and I'm going to post some of this video over the next couple minutes as I'm filming here. I'm going to show you a little bit of the video. It's kind of graphic. She's eating the squirrel. Not really graphic, but I couldn't get a really good shot because of all the branches and the stuff. So I figured video would be better. And I don't have an ND filter. I need one because I said I'm not a video guy. So I don't have one for this. I have it for a couple of the other lenses. I don't have it for my 500, but I'm not using that for 90 days. So we're good. But I'm going to need to get myself a 67 millimeter ND and I'll have to get a couple different versions of that. But so I shot this at f13 and blah, blah, blah. But it's okay. There's some video. I think it looks kind of cool. I don't even know. I haven't looked at it yet, but I did it the other day. I'm going to put it in this video one way or the other just to show you what it looked like. But I handheld it. I didn't need a tripod. I actually was weird. I didn't even have the little arc of foot because I've never used this collar on this lens. I usually take it off because it's removable. And I got stuck. I didn't want to lose the scene, so I just handheld it. Boom. I can keep this thing so still, and I had the OIS on there, and hey, I think it came out good. I rewatched on the camera. It's great. But then I have to, like, you know, you take the tripod away. You don't need it. You're in the canopy. You want a video? Got it. You want to do some cinematic stuff? Got it. You want to keep just one lens in the back of my quiver, the whole fast quiver? I got one lens. I can do some video. Boom, boom. I don't have to haul around anything. So, you know, it's just, it's not my style. Some of these shots with these wider frames and not uptight, but I'm okay. I'm all right with it. This is something I would print. This is something that's got a beautiful texture, a lot going on. It's not just isolated. And I think these are shots that I like. I didn't pull out. I don't AI branches, and I don't do that. So these are just the way it looks to me. And so here, I'm going to go through a couple more of these long shots here. Some really wide ones that are just, these aren't cropped. So I'll post the cropped one after. So like she's on the branch and she's grooming or preening, grooming, whatever you want to call it. You know, real wide version, 16:9, beautiful. And then here, the in tight one. It's very nice, crisp and clear. This lens is unbelievable. I mean, you know, when you can crop in this close with this eating here, you know, this is when she was chewing and eating some meat. I mean, like, it's crystal clear, and it's, I mean, yeah, it's 100 megapixels. It'd be the same in 50. I was that close. So if you can get close and you can get in tight, you're good to go. You're good to go. I mean, so it slows you down mentally. It lets you watch a little more wildlife, which is what I'm all about. And it's just calming to me. I have a feeling of just freedom. And I feel like I can hold it. I can walk around it. It's just like, it feels less about trying to get the photo, make an image. It feels about just being outside with nature and walking through the woods or walking out. And now I always carry my camera with me anyway, and I always carry my journal with me anyway. And, you know, it doesn't need to be rushed. Wildlife doesn't need to be rushed. You can't rush it. So like, this sits on my front seat even more so. I could pop this in a little think tank, one of them little side bags here, take this lens cap off. I reverse this bad boy. Look at this. Look at this. I mean, that's it. That's my day. 200 millimeters. Boom. Carry the 23, carry the 80 with me. I don't know, the macro. I don't know what I'm going to shoot. You know what? My days are kind of, and I'm interested in it. And so I'm interested in just trying to see what I can get or how I can do it, you know? So I'm going to start a little bit of series on this one. So I'm going to try to, journal every time I have a great day, or not every day actually. So I've had 3 bad days because I went out looking, I didn't get anything. So I saw some stuff, but these red tails landed. I'm on the side of the road. I pulled the camera out. I was so far away. So it allowed me to just observe and watch those 2 hawks. Now I logged them in where they were, so hopefully there's a nest around there, or that's a spot, and I saw them 2 days later, which was yesterday. So it's okay. I clicked a couple, you know, I clicked a couple shots. They were no good. There was power lines in the way. There was a house in the background. I mean, they were so far through the tree branches, it didn't really catch focus. I mean, that's all right. It's okay. I mean, and I went to the eagles the second day, and they were up in the nest, and you know, it wasn't good. It wasn't a good shot. I have a picture here of a Cooper hawk that I found in I think I'm going to post it here, and you know, super far away. You know, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it's not terrible, and yeah, I can crop in on it, I guess. But I mean, like, it is what it is. I saw it. I noted where that Cooper hawk was. I never saw a Cooper hawk in that spot before, so hopefully there's maybe more, or there's some more action. But I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. I wouldn't have gotten a great shot with the 500 anyway. And so I'm just, this is kind of an aha moment video for me. I'm enjoying it. I hope you try it. Try it for a day. You don't need to do it 90 days. Just try it for a day. Leave your 600 at home. The only way you're going to do it is leave it at home. And, you know, it's like me with video. Some days when I know I got out and make a video, and I'm trying to do some more in the field videos for everybody, it's like, go do what I do to scout, but don't take my camera. because if I take my camera, it's going to take me off of my task. And I'm trying not to stay, I'm not trying to get off task. I'm going to do this. I'm going to journal it. I think I put 16 pages in the journal the first day, 3 bad days, just a page, I noted where I was, what I did, what I saw. I mean, the photographs really don't make much of a difference at that point, but this batch of this hawk and the eagle and even, the mockingbird and, they're great. They're good shots. They're postable, and I can't ask for anything more. So, hey, everyone, thank you for tuning in. The channel's starting to pick up some steam. Please subscribe, 168 Wildlife on all other social medias, and I appreciate your time. And I know that I'm not the quickest YouTuber. I don't make a bunch of edits and cuts and try to, I say and this a lot, but I really appreciate everyone sticking with me, and I got a lot more in store for everybody. So thanks once again. Talk to you soon.